Kevin, yeah, can see your screen.
Until it's written in the constellations, call me feeling dangerous, risk the odds, I'll face the consequences. Life written, till you lose it all and don't give in. When I'm not like a rolling, got you falling in my skin. Take a chance, this is it.
Let me just stop my share. Just a bit. Awesome. Yeah, and let me start my video, obviously. Yeah, welcome to today's session. We thought we could just make it just a bit if I'm not hearing. Let me just make sure that I'm not hearing myself here. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, how are you? Tell us, please let us know in the YouTube chat as we also get to see these, and also just in case we're really not at at a big number, we definitely want to share with you the out. But please let us know in the chat where you're dialing in from. We'd really love to get to know where you're dialing in from. What time is it at wherever you are? Because this challenge is running across several time zones from 8 p.m. It's currently 8 p.m. where just a bit. Uh, yeah, because it's almost like 8 or 9 p.m. here in Nairobi, and I know it's around 6:10 p.m. in West Africa, and around almost getting to 11 p.m. in Indian Standard Time. So happy to have you all here. And one thing that we are really glad is how you've really shown up this challenge. I know I'm going to be having Nelson and James talk more about how the challenge has been, how how the how all of you have really shown up, and definitely want to spotlight. We want to spotlight some of the standout community members who have gone above and beyond. You've built in public, you've followed the socials, you've created your blog articles, you've learned along the way, which is exactly what the challenge is all about, to challenge you. And as we get onto these, I would like to, let me see if I can I see, is there anything? Let me just see if I can look at the chat so that I can see if there's any. Please let us know something if something is up. Let me see also. Let me jump on live to the live. Yep. So that we're all aligned on that one. And yeah, so that we can also move together with these. Awesome. As I get these, maybe I can give Nelson and James a bit of an opportunity to say hi to you, so that as we also get to the nitty-gritties of the end of week one pulse check, and then I'll be coming back after they say hi to you guys. Nelson, James, can say hi. If you can turn on your video.
Bro, you're muted.
Sorry. I was on mute. Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. I welcome you to today's session. I hope I'm audible now. Please, Kevin, confirm.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Nelson.
Yes, you are.
I'm Nelson. I'm part of the community that is EveOps community. We partnered with AI ML User Group Kenya, that is with Kevin Tuwei. We would just want to welcome you to today's session. Free to ask any questions. That will be an interactive session. How has been your week one been? Also give feedback as well as how we can continue to improve. So I welcome you to today's session, and maybe grab a coffee as we have this discussion. Back here in Kenya, it's a bit cold. It's raining right now. So I also have my coffee with me. So we say in Kenya, we say karibuni sana. So I welcome you all. Back to you, Kevin.
Awesome. Yeah, so the first thing that we're going to do, we are going to just give an overview of what was there for when we started out these. We had an amazing kickoff event. You really showed up in terms of that, and definitely we want you to be part and parcel. And as Nelson has said, we want to make it as interactive as possible, and we are looking at also that. Okay, so bring it from your own perspective. Let me see if I can bring it up from your end. Let me see. Yep, so let's see. Yeah, so let me share my screen. Listen, sometimes my Zoom app has some issues around screen share, but hopefully I'm not going to get a bit of an issue here. So, please let me know once you're able to see the screen. It's coming up. Please let me know once it's up, Nelson. If not, I can stop my share, then I can reshare. Is it up or should I just share my whole screen?
It's still not up. So just saying started sharing the screen, but it's not coming up.
Let me see. It just came up. Should have come up right now. Okay, not yet. Okay, I don't know why it's not sharing. Let's see. Just stop my share, all of it.
Maybe as Kevin is working on sharing his screen, can give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
You can hear us clearly, and maybe some comments on the YouTube chat on how your week has been and some reflections that you have about the week. And any feedback maybe you'd have for the admin, that would be really appreciated. Okay, I think Kevin is sorting his presentation. So you guys most of us are juggling working with Terraform challenges, and it's not easy. Even to fall behind and even get stuck quietly. So one thing I would say is this challenge is about finishing all the 30 days perfectly. It's about consistency and actually understanding what you're doing. So even if you are in day 5 or someone else is in day 10, you're still making progress. So I think Kevin is back. Yeah, so Kevin, welcome back.
Thank you.
We can
Thank you.
hear.
Sorry, I don't know whether it was my network. I appreciate it. You can now see my
Yeah.
screen, right?
Yes, we can. Karibu.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So this is the EveOps platform that has really come through, and you are having a discussion as the leads on how it has really transformed the way we are running the challenge this year. And as we've already seen the ups and downs around it, you guys have given us feedback in terms of some of the things that you'd wish to be improved, especially on your workspace side, on a couple of things that need to be changed there, and anything that comes out, especially on these other aspects around documentation. As you might have realized, what we were discussing in the WhatsApp group, and we were saying that as a DevOps engineer, it's not just about the technical part and spinning up infrastructure and destroying infrastructure. It's also all about documentation. And when you're in early career, your documentation speaks a lot about your competence. It's what can speak for you in rooms where you're not present. So you have to be very, 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 very keen with what you share. Don't worry. For me, as this one was my first one. I'm not going to use this as my. We have already seen your amazing attitude articles. So I'm not going to use mine as an example of what I think it was Sarah who was mentioning in the group. Hopefully, am I breaking? I'm good.
James,
Okay.
am I the one who is? I think we are losing Kevin.
Yeah. My video a bit for now. Can you hear me, Nelson?
Yes, we can hear you. James, can you also confirm?
Am I good now? James,
Yeah, I
confirm
can
that
hear
I'm
you.
good.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can. But Kevin is breaking a little bit. Uh, You just stop using.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
the
I think the
videos
video
normally it normally creates a latency because it's trying to stream.
sure. Yeah, sure. Considering I'm also streaming from my I'm also streaming from my own computer also. Anyways, yeah. So for example, let's see. This is something that came out, for example, for the leaderboard. First of all, amazing job. We're going to be highlighting and spotlighting these amazing people, tasks that were at hand. For example, you had 10 tasks given to you this week. I know this is what you're saying, that as much as we are allowing you to start at any point in time, the point system is there to keep you accountable when it comes to making sure that you stay consistent. And definitely the most consistent are the ones who are ranking in the highest points. But then again, we say this early in the week that the platform is made for the challenge, and not that the challenge is made for the platform. So the platform should not get in the way of your Terraform challenge. That means that you should not be fixated on the points. You should also not be fixated on sending out blank workspaces just to get the points fast. Don't be, I can say that there can even be people who are just other, like not part of the top three, lower down in the leaderboard, but they are really true to themselves in terms of what they're learning through this challenge. So day one was about intro. Day two, you set up your Terraform environment. I saw amazing screenshots and posts on LinkedIn, on your articles on Medium, very consistent and top-notch articles in terms of that. There's something else that came out in terms of the power of community to help each other, because there are some of you who are writing very good articles. Then there are some of you who are struggling a bit on that aspect, which is understandable. I can tell you that even when I started out, there was one thing that I feared. It was not even public speaking. I was actually fearing writing articles, because when you're writing an article, you don't know. I would even prefer doing a video, because at least I know someone is getting to hear my nuances and everything. How do you tell a story from someone who is reading an article and they need to feel your personality, and they also need to see your work? You have to combine between it being yours, you owning it and showing it, as well as the technical, because installation of Terraform is standard, right? Setting up your Terraform environment is standard, but documentation part is what makes the difference in terms of some of the things that there. Then you work towards deploying your first server. Then how do you master some of the basic infra that you're having with Terraform? And then how do you get to scale infrastructure and understand this aspect called Terraform state and the state file, and what happens in terms of how do you manage Terraform state? Then the other things around, how do you isolate different states in using workspaces and layouts? This is in day 7. Some of you might not have already reached these days, but it's totally fine. And that is what we really want you to do, that you keep on moving in a very consistent way. And then day 8 is all about building reusable infrastructure using modules, the Terraform modules. And I can tell you all these concepts that you're learning here are well aligned to the Terraform Associate certification. I know it recently changed from 003 to 004, but some of the things that are running or that are at the underlying fundamental concepts around Terraform are still we covered in this week. And your foundation is very critical. So don't just brush through these aspects. And once you're even done, you can still go back. I always say spaced repetition plays a huge part in moving whatever you've learned from this from this subconscious to the long term, from the conscious to subconscious, or from the short term memory to long term memory. Let's just use the simple terms. And then how do you move from advanced Terraform modules? How do you do things around versioning? And then day 10, before the rubber meets the road on the next phase of the release of the challenges, is on Terraform loops and conditionals. So just to highlight some of the amazing people in terms of this challenge and whatever you've already done, we have currently at the third place is Felix Mwendwa, doing an amazing job in terms of building, done already 6 tasks, and I've spent over 31 hours. That is amazing, like the 31 hours spent there. And then we have Ganesh. I saw your articles, even when you're sharing, anytime you finish posting, doing your articles, you share it in the WhatsApp group. Ganesh, you've done an amazing job and currently at the runners-up position, having done already now the most tasks among the 3, that is 7 tasks, and having spent over 93 hours on the platform, maybe doing a couple of different things that are there. And now we have Nehemiah. I hope I'm pronouncing your name well.
He's from Congo. He's from
And
Congo.
having done nice. Nehemiah from Congo, amazing job that you're doing in terms of
Kevin,
this, in terms of the
something special
yes.
about Nehemiah is that we've been friends like for 2 years now on LinkedIn.
Nice.
And when
He's the guy
he
who is the guy who told AWS community builder to give them a chance after they rejected him, and you replied to his LinkedIn. You don't remember? Like he's the guy who
Yeah,
told community. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah, I saw
yes,
that. And it's not every day. Even I think Corey Strausman said that it's not every day that they do what, that they look at an email of someone who sends an issue, and then they are reconsidered, then accepted. So amazing job, Nema, and keep on learning. Trust me. I think you are our 2026 Nelson. Nelson was our our star-studded person in the 30-day challenge last year. So that is awesome in terms of what you're doing here. And before we go on too far, there are some of the things that I know Nelson, I'll give him an opportunity to talk about, especially when it comes to starting out with these, is security. If there's one thing that if you mess up with your security, you send in your access key, ID, and the secret key or your session key to GitHub or whichever you had code them on your Terraform files, then you make them accessible publicly in one way or another. It's going to be a very long day for you, especially for your newly minted account, especially if you have gotten your account most recently. And as an DevOps engineer, we always say security sheets left in the pipeline. So you should think about security before you go on too far on a couple of things that you're doing. Are you really hard coding your credentials? How are you using your variables, or how are you leveraging environment variables? Do you have a proper .git ignore? And are you uploading even the whole TF-VAS and the modules like the AWS modules, and you're wondering why GitHub is refusing to do the commit because you are uploading big files to your GitHub repo, which GitHub doesn't want. So were you able to encounter those challenges? And once you're able, just make sure that think about security, because an threat actor or someone who's going to take advantage or take over your account is not going to worry or even be concerned that you are a learner and say, let me just have mercy, or let me forgive this person because they're just learning and they're doing their best to understand Terraform or GitHub or whichever kind of tool that they're using, and they're trying to build a career in DevOps. You're going to be baptized by fire, if I can say. So make sure you think about security as the very first thing anytime you're doing these particular challenges. And if before I give Nelson an opportunity, there's a couple of things that James has mentioned and I believe is going to talk about is you need to leverage the whole suite of tools that are here, especially when it comes to leveraging code blocks that are there. For example, if I have, like, let me see if I can bring this up. Let's say I'm having this provider.tf code here, and I can put it here. If I wanted to show these out, I definitely not want to put out a code block and then put in my code block there. I think as a couple of you are saying that it was hard to get out of the code block, if I'm not wrong. So I don't know. Let's see. So have I pasted it? Or have I pasted it twice? Let me see. Maybe my browser is acting up. Okay. I think is HCL here, or you can just use whichever.
Control V.
So I think I did a. Oh yeah, it came up. So I'm just wondering, do you have some HCL, or can you just use, okay.
I didn't like design HCL for this, but I think if you use JavaScript, it's just going to pick JavaScript or Java. It's going to pick the same thing. It's almost the same thing.
Yeah, almost similar in terms of the color coding. It's okay. That's fine. So the beauty about these, for example, like let's say I'm trying to say get open your folder. I'm just trying to do a high level. Open your folder, and let me say call it, what shall you call it? AWS VPC Terraform. Just call it that way, and create provider.tf. You see, I'm trying to just show you high level things. Let me see if I can use Korean new, and I think I can just use this one as Korean new. Just I think it's the one nearest to code block, like a code. Then paste the following. Just as a high level. I'm just thinking out that loud. Definitely, creating a VPC on Terraform. I'm just using this sec area just to show you something here. So definitely, let me see. So this one I can just put it as a, I don't want it's too big. Let's say it has a heading too, then I can just put it high level that way. So you can see this is the most important thing, and you don't have to do the formatting when you're starting out. You can set up your work, and I had some you can say you said you can do your work maybe on a Notion page or a Markdown file on your VS Code or your ID, then you can come in and bring it here, which is totally okay. Then definitely, as I think we said, if you're having a repo that you're currently working on and you're having an exact day's work, let's say, let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see if I can bring up something. let's see, can I bring my GitHub here? So let's say you're having your repo that your challenge repo that you're working on and putting in contents for each day. When you're putting in the URL here, don't just put the just the repo name, and then we have to find ourselves inside and look for things inside that. So let me see if I can log into mine. Just let me show you something. And at any point in time, feel free to ask a question in the chat, and we'd be happy to answer. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so let's say I'm here. Let me just look for one of my challenge repos I ever did. So let's say I'm having this one. Let's say I'm having that. So let's say I was doing that was what? Which day was this one? This day 2. So let's say I get to day 2 here. Here's my day 2 folder or something. And then I can come in and copy this path and put it here. Why? Okay, no, let me just copy I think the whole thing here. Why does it make it awesome? Because that means that if someone is reviewing your work and seeing what you're doing, they can navigate directly to that particular day. If you're having an article that you've already done, let me just get one of my articles. Just using mine for purposes of demonstration doesn't mean that you just do things for the sake of it. You have to do a proper job. Let me get one of my articles, and feel free to follow me on Medium. I'll get one article here. Let's see. Let me see. Let me just use the as article. And I'll show you something about articles. I'll use this article. This is one of I think my standout articles. I did it a couple of years back, but it's still used by people. Even AI suggests people to use my article when they want to connect code build to a GitHub repo. Anyways, let's get back here. So let's say the live app link, which we usually call it, as much as we call it the live app link, is where you can put the article, your article or your documentation that you've done. So let's see, let me put it here. Yeah, so you can see the article is there. The repo for that particular day on the things that I've been working is there. And then definitely, if I'm having, let's say I'm having this. Let's see, can I edit this? I don't want to edit it. Let me see what will happen if I have, let me see just what will happen if I do this. This an let me just put it below whatever I was doing. Like that. I'm out of the code block. Not too bad, but it's not picking up the screenshots, which is okay. Yeah, it is picking up my screenshots. Okay, good. Interesting. I love this. So it has picked up my screenshots, and it has also captured actually the whole article that I've done, and it has already put it here. So you can see, you can do your article, publish it on Medium, and just bring it all here. So let me just submit. Let me see. Remember, I'm not competing in this, so let me just complete the task and see how this pans out. So you can see for me, because I did not do it exact time, the maximum I'm getting is like 30 points. And then I think the counter for the other ones comes up. I know James is going to highlight more about how the point systems works out currently. But you can see if I come back, if you look at this work, if you're coming to review my work, especially if it was actually related about setting up an environment, and you can see that, hey, you can see my repo link. Let's say if I open that repo, you can see it's that whole repo link. If I open it, it will take you here, and you can see whatever I was doing in terms of that, if it was only my own work. If you go back to my live, I go up to my live app link, it will take you to my Medium article, which is also here. And the other thing that I'm going to tell you about articles, because I saw that as a big issue, is there's something called the arc, like an arc. your article, however technical it is, it has to have a minimum of a few things. For example, if it's a technical one on telling someone how to do something, you should have an introduction so that someone knows what is this article all about, so that if it is what they were looking for, they will go on. If it is not what they were looking for, they leave it at that and look for something else. So don't just go in and just jump into putting out screenshots. You don't have an introduction and other things. The other thing is, if it's something that is going to tell someone how to do things, tell them what they need beforehand, so that you don't they've not gone in. Then you're assuming they have a GitHub account, they have an AWS account, whatever. All these are the different kind of things, because before you do all these, it's assumed that you're having a couple of these, and then just to make sure that you don't make it look like a lab, make sure you're conversational with your articles. Do it as if you're telling someone, for example, and always address the person. I know we have this tendency of doing articles. Then I did this. Then I do this. Then you can do that. You're mixing up addressing people, addressing your reader, and talking about yourself. So you should be able to have this. You just know what kind of is it what tense or what? I've forgotten the English name about it on the person, the party or something. Like, for example, if you're addressing someone, you have to stay consistent that you are addressing them all through the article. In some areas, you can say, when I was doing this part, you have to look out for this 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, but you go back to continuously addressing the reader, because the person who is reading is feeling like you're talking to them. So don't just have the whole article is I did this and this. It's not a report. Your article should communicate and help someone. So do it as if later on you're going to need it and it's going to help you. The other thing about screenshots, I know it's usually hard work, is annotate your screenshots. You can see this. Like don't just put a screenshot there and you want people to magically decipher where in that screenshot do we need. So for example, you can see in my article I was saying on the code pipeline console, click build, code build to expand the section, and then click getting started. You'll navigate to the console where you can click create project. So you can see I told about the side panel where you expand this build and then you get to getting started. Then you click on create project, and you can see I highlighted those parts. It's usually hard work, but it makes your screenshots worth it. And the other thing that you need in terms of your article is you have to have a caption. Why? Because of screen readers, because of people who decide to listen to your article rather than read it. So sometimes media has that opportunity for someone. I think mine is here. I can see this one. And I can play this and someone can listen to my article instead of reading it. And you don't want them to be listening to it, then they're hearing a weird, like there's something that goes on and they're wondering, okay, a picture and it doesn't have a caption. So you can see, always caption out your screenshots, because if it's on Medium and someone is going to be listening to your article rather than reading it, they can get the gist of it. Also, if you are doing a particular screenshot that is focusing on a particular area and you need not annotate, you can do a screen clip for that particular area. And that then as you move on, after you've done, make sure you always wrap up. In some cases, also add an architecture. If it needs an architecture, add a cost estimate where it is necessary, so that your article is full on. But it doesn't mean that every article must to have that. But this article has the bare minimum. It has the conclusion, it has the body, it has the introduction, and it also has the prerequisites. Those are the things that you actually need when you're doing a good article. And if you're going to be having references to other documentation. Don't put them between your article. Put them right at the end as further reading or other resources, whatever kind of thing you want to call them. Don't put them, because the moment you put them in the middle, what happens is it confuses someone and they wonder what should they do. And this is another one that I wrote on building a serverless face analysis application used on AWS using Terraform. And you can see I started out with introduction, and then I brought out the architecture and I explained that architecture first. And then I talked about the objectives of the challenge. It was a Cloud for Sky challenge. I talked about the high level implementation steps. And then I showed about some of the screenshots that are there. I don't think I was doing a much in terms of detail, but you can see I was addressing. Then you can see special appreciation goes to this guy whose 2-part articles on this link. And you can see I put that. Then at the end of it, after I finished everything, that is when I put the resources that are relevant for this article. You can see a good number of people liked the article. So that is how you do, and you can only get better with articles by reading articles. You cannot be a good writer of articles if you're not. I was so invested in articles that even I am a Medium member. I follow up on my Medium. I pay for my Medium so that I can access high quality articles that are member only stories, so that I can see. For example, I can see things usually like let's say this publication called AWS tip. And if I open it, maybe there must be a member only story somewhere here. You can see I built a complete DevSecOps pipelines with GitHub Actions. Here is every code. I think there's one that someone is written, a couple of different, you can see like this one is a member only. I let Codex refactor ASP.NET. Here is what it broke. So this being a member only story means that it must be having some quality stuff inside it. And I can look at it and I can see we had so you can see that person starts with kind of an introduction without even saying it's an introduction, but you can see it's very, very conversational in his article, and that is how you hook the people you read. And the TLDR, too long, didn't read, so that if you don't want to read the whole article, you can just use this section and you understand what the whole article is all about. The problem is Codex refactor 34 files. Every task passed, production broke 3 days later in 3 separate ways. Root cause, Codex reasons locally across file text. It cannot see DI, lifetime scope, EF, core change, tracking state, or middleware execution order. Fix 3 agents.md guardrails that scope what Codex is allowed to touch before it opens its first pull request. Then it now brings it down, brings out a couple of different things here, and then goes on and on, shows out the fix that is there, and then finishes up. And it's published in a very good, reputable article that has publication that is also growing in terms of numbers. So the others like towards AWS and a couple of others like AWS in plain English, check them out and see. Read as many, because there's no shortage, but you have to know these publications. You need to search them. Like towards AWS is an amazing one. AWS tip, AWS in plain English. There's a very good article, publication that you can also check. You can see this person wrote an article 2 days ago. Good one, how I migrated 500 GB of data to AWS in 48 hours and didn't break production. So you can see most people are really talking about how things that can break production or cannot break production, because that is what senior engineers really want to know and read about. Yeah, so the future of cloud infra, what is shaping AWS development in 2026. Nice article. I would really want to see what are those different things, AI powered, what are the different things that are there. And just note that the moment someone reads an article and gets to the end, that is what is considered a read. So also make sure you don't just put your articles and then leave them there as if you want it to magically appear to people, especially now that you're going to be on free Medium. So that means even if you post, Medium is not going to do hard work of sending out your article to people. So let's say, let me see if I can bring in my stats. Let's see. I don't know where do usually my stats go to? I've forgotten. It's here. This stats. So if I come into my stats, you can see just this month alone, my articles have been presented to people 514 times. It has been viewed 138 times. And then this is one of the most important metrics. That is the reads. Reads means that someone decided to read your article through to the end. I think not to the end, but somewhere there's a way Medium tracks reads. It's very important. And over the month, how many followers have you gained? How many subscribers? You can feel free to follow. Right now I'm writing a good number of thought leadership articles, but I'll be writing more Terraform related challenge articles, especially now that you're going through this challenge. And I'll be giving you a couple of different things here, so you can check kevin2a.medium.com and we can continue to interact there. I think with that, Nelson, I can pass it on to you, and then James, before we get in maybe some more questions from the members.
Kevin, we have some question from YouTube. Maybe you
Okay.
can.
Let me check
Someone
them.
is.
Let me check. But you can read for me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you addressing the importance of documentation. Technical skills are vital, but the impact is limited. Maybe you can maybe expound a bit on that. If they aren't communicated effectively, but they are saying a great job highlighting these.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that I know, one of the scariest parts, scary. Okay, that word is hard for me currently. One of the most scary parts in any article is not even the writing part; it's the clicking publish. I think that some people, after a while, they get better at it, because when you click publish, you're not thinking, now it's already out there. Now let's wait. Let's now see, will there be people who are going to read it? What will be the feedback? Will there be people who are going to, but don't be worried about looking for metrics. Don't be worried. For me, I don't even worry about the metrics that come in when it comes to my articles, because what I do is I know the first person who is the consumer of the article is me. So I asked myself, if I was reading this article as if it was not me who wrote it, would I be proud of it? If not, I have to work harder and iterate and iterate and iterate. So it's very important, and you can only get better over time. You can imagine how I'd even thought I'd do an article every week when I was starting out, talk about New Year resolutions. Then life happened. That always I have so many drafts that I cannot open my draft here. We usually hear that there's a songwriter who has songs they have never released. I also have a good number of articles that I've never ever published before. But I'm always thinking about, at some point maybe I can work on it, then I can release it. And there's a reason why I'm very keen on choose one blogging provider. And let me tell you this, and let me repeat again and again. I saw some of you say this. I know it's a matter of preference, but please do your articles where people are. Medium has people inside it, so you can be sure that they can read it. The other place is dev.to, has people inside it. LinkedIn has people inside it. Don't do that thing. I know it is that happiness that you get. You want to do it on your own personal, self-hosted blog on WordPress or wherever, but you don't have 50,000 people logging into your blog website daily. But Medium has those people. So what are you? And the beauty with Medium, there's this thing about cross posting. I mean, so even if you post in your own personal blogging site, you can cross post and it's not going to be an issue, because as long as you do this thing about canonical links and a couple of things around documentation. But just note that technical writing is something that you get better at as you practice. You're not going to get it by not by just winging it. And this challenge gives you 30 opportunities to do a good article. And by the time you get to 30, you can be sure that you're going to be the same person at the end of it. So start, let it have all the rough edges, but please make sure that you share it with people, put it on the platform, and then you can get feedback. At some point, you can even reach out to us and say, I've done this article, please let me know, what can I improve on it? Again, we might not have capacity to deal on each and every one of you one-on-one, but you can be sure that a good article will always sell you further than your mouth and you being up and moving around in different events. I can tell you that my blogging has helped me in my career. My ability to build in public and post things consistently on one platform, that is LinkedIn, has done the same thing for me. The other thing that I also, maybe I don't know if I can open my LinkedIn and I tell you something around the articles that your guys were writing. I mean, the post is, it's one thing to just come in and transfer whatever was in your article or something around, let's say, I don't know, like just repeating whatever it is, but just make sure that that you do your best in terms. Let me switch my page. Let me switch to the HashiCorp, where you guys have been tagging us, or AWS ML. But let me switch to HashiCorp user group Meru page. Okay, so let's say I choose. Let me just check one of you that has tagged us recently. And if you haven't followed up, please, for example, you can see Ganesh already did an article and he tagged the page, the user group. So let me open that. I'll also open did Felix? Yes. Yeah. So as they load, if there's any question, please feel free to ask in the YouTube chat. And hopefully, obviously, the next pulse check will also have you closer to us. We'll have you guys on maybe on Zoom. Considering now we've seen that the numbers have already, I think it was a curiosity kind of a thing. Okay, so as they load, let's see. Yeah. So Ganesh is doing this like day 7 of the 30-day Terraform challenge, data isolation deep dive. I implemented both Terraform workspaces and file layout isolation for multi-cloud deployments. Knowing when to use each one is what separates good infrastructure from great infrastructure. Very good in terms of that. Especially when you're doing your articles, you need to strike the balance between writing a lot and communicating effectively with the conciseness that it is. Let's see what is Felix here. So the other thing is okay, this one is quite good, but then again, yeah, I love this that even Felix has already added some personality as an electrical technician. I'm used to manual troubleshooting, but today watched my AWS cluster perform its own repair. That's a nice way, like a very good hook thereabouts, and tells us what they accomplished and such. Just make sure that you, as you do, for example, like you don't have to write a vlog, your vlog is pending or pending some perfections and such. Like just make sure that I love that the fact that you also added a big lesson. This is also not too long, not too short. That's a very good thing. But then again, I think it would be better not to add such in terms of a screenshot, because again, it becomes quite crazy if someone doesn't know what you're talking about, because LinkedIn has non-technical audiences. So you're better off maybe generating a picture around Terraform state and high availability and adding your face to it or something, just something like that. Yeah, so these are good, like it's in your own, Ganesh, it is in his own in own blog post. But the truth of the matter is it's going to be very hard for me to be coming to your blog every day. I would rather find your article while I'm doing other things in a place. For example, there's no way you can create your own platform for that looks like TikTok. And you want me to go to TikTok, then leave TikTok, go to your own app and watch your short videos. But again, I'm not on TikTok. I'm just using that as an example. Yes, I am there, but I don't log in. I'm just not there like always. Yeah, that is it, Nelson. I think I can take it back to you. I can see we're almost at time, and then we can end it. Let me see if I can get one from an amazing lady. I think there is is it Sarah or okay, let's do even Enjoy. Talked about the gentleman too much. So let's look at Enjoy Tinyari, and was earlier today posted about day 4 Terraform challenge, which is awesome with the progress. So this building in public plays a huge part. I've seen people go on and get community packs, others who have gotten job opportunities by virtue of that. Why did I click Alex again? What happened there? I don't know what happened there. Please let me close these ones. Yeah, so yeah, but I think you get it. Let me see if I can do that. Exactly the same things. I don't have to load it twice. Should I close? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so as I think it's loading, I have to make sure that Enjoy's article loads. Otherwise, I'll be wondering, I'll be under the cusp like you guys just because it wasn't loading. So yeah, it is. Today was a big step. So the other thing, anytime you do an article, think about readability. For example, like if I look at your article and I'm feeling like there's a whole lot going on here in terms of not using white spaces, then it becomes very hard for me to read your article. I know we also want to make sure we show you we are as human as possible, but you can still use AI to help you format as long as it doesn't mess up with the content that you use. So I love the fact that we, for example, Enjoy these awesome, like adding the issues that we had to go through, launch configurations being deprecated in newer AWS accounts, because now instead of launch configurations, you use is it launch templates? Yes, and then issues with malformed base 64 encoding in the user data when you're adding your user data in your code. You can see a good article here. Let's see. Let me do a quick review of the article. So also it's a big thing, for example, for me being a media member and reading your article. It's usually also a big thing. It adds to your readership and maybe it's going to more people. So day 3 was a single server, why input variables are first, day 3 into variables. So again, when you put a code block, tell us, like caption it out or do a couple of things around it. If you do this, you have to tell us, do you want us to copy it? Or if you're not going to tell us what to copy, at a high level, tell us what the code is all about. Because assume someone is going to read the article, has zero knowledge about Terraform, and they want to use the article to learn. So assume zero knowledge and just say on the first code block, you're getting the provider and setting the region. And then you get using a data source you set up on the availability zones. and such and such and such just at a high level, then someone can understand why did you choose all these and such, and what can I do with it? How can I use it? Yeah, then I love the fact that you talked about the error. He's also confirming that it worked. It's also fine. Image showing the Apache page, then cleaned up, Terraform destroy. But then again, you have to tell us how do you run this? Is it going to be something I'm putting on a file and then running it? Is it going to be on the terminal, on the CLI, on where will I do this? So don't assume someone has perfect knowledge around Terraform. You're using that one, and it also can help you. And even when you decide, if let's say you're told you're going to get a gig to train people on beginner zero to hero on Terraform, and then you give them the articles, and you realize that you cannot follow. But I understand that maybe your article was all about the errors and how you dealt with them, which is a very good thing. So there are different kinds of articles that help people know how to do something, articles that highlight errors that people have to look out for, articles that talk about the different trade-offs that people need to make, especially when it comes to solutions architecture and such. So not all articles should be lab style. So it doesn't have to be that. So if this one was fully about the errors, then you can ignore putting out the code. You don't have to put out the code if you're doing all this. But if it's different because of the challenge and you want to show that you did something, then you are better off sharing the repo, sharing where the repo we've put all these things and putting it right at the end and just saying my challenge repo for day 5 and some or day 4 has this and such. Yeah, I think that is, I think I've really gone deep on the articles and documentation and the building in public and doing good posts. But I believe that one's very, very important because you need to show people that you're doing this challenge. Don't do it in private and think day 30 you're going to amaze people and just bring out like a 30-minute read on Medium that covers all the 30 days. It doesn't make sense. Show progress. Because the moment you post at least on every day or at least one in every 2 days, you imply consistent. You imply that you are a consistent person. You imply that you're a lifelong learner. You also imply that you are in it for the long haul. You're not in it just because we understand so many people sign up for a challenge, over 300 people, then at the end you get only 50 or so people who finish. Are you a finisher? Are you part of the 50? Yep, I think that is it. Anything, Nelson, that you captured as I give you the mic and the screen and the video?
I think that is well articulated, Kevin. You covered well on terms of documentation. I think I had talked about it on our channel. I'd also given out some point because not only building we'll be looking at as how you are also even assisting and helping others build in public and also learn. So yeah, having a well documented work is good. I think I also said that being a DevOps, being a software engineer, and also being a cloud engineer, you'll work with a lot of people and you'll find yourself that you'll communicate with a lot of teams. So when your work is well documented, it makes even much easier, even in terms of change management or when you're doing version controls. Some people go through documentation and they are able even to move production with a well-documented code. So we are also trying to teach you how to document your work and become good at it. Yeah, so that's some point I can add on it. That is good one. So mine,
Yeah, before
yes.
I let you get to it, I've seen a question on YouTube. First of all, I really appreciate those who are putting in their chats on YouTube. And someone was saying, I'm trying to catch up on the tasks. A quick one is version control for these challenges tied to GitHub, or I can use my GitLab account too. Maybe you'll address that, Nelson. And as a beginner writer, can one publish in towards AWS tip, etc.? I can tell you that it's quite a challenge. Even for me, I've not even gotten the confidence of telling them, hey, can you publish my article there? So but what I can tell you is you can get the editor, the person. You can only see the person who is the editor for any publication. For example, in this case, if you look at this is AWS tip, which screen have I shared? Let's see what is coming up. Yeah, it has. I think it should have come up. Is it up, Nelson? Yeah. So this
Yes.
this AWS tip. So let's say if you can see it has these followers, and then it has these two editors. So if I come in and see, oh, Alex AWS, I can click on them, and then I can see, okay, they haven't written any stories, but I can see, can I talk to the person, or can I reach out, or you can even look at somebody who has gotten the article posted, because I can see there's cloud, CI/CD, Kubernetes, DevOps, all here. And then I can see if I want to be writing on the DevOps space, then I need to consistently, I know can see like this Devrim or Oxley is a person who is getting their articles on awstip.com or AWS tip. And then you consistently like read whatever they are posting, and then you can also there's a way, for example, I've forgotten. I think they get their articles, something, for example, if I decide, okay, this person is doing an amazing job, let me follow them, I can send out and like, let's say the way you comment, and you can comment on their articles, and you can create connection, and you can get to see if they've put their Twitter, or can, for example, I can see I saw their tip as let's see here, follow us on Twitter. So, and you can DM them on Twitter and then start talking. But it's very hard for you to do it as a beginner, because I think it's all about, you can see how the articles, you have to look at the kind of articles. What is the style of writing that they do accept? What are the topics that they do talk about? You'll not find some entry level how to set up. For example, you can see this, the Terraform blueprint, how to scale what. This most recent, let's see what is here. They're talking about repository module design principles and a couple of other different things that are here. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect in terms of this thing, but after a while, definitely you can definitely make it. Yeah. So you can get it. I think is there any question that I've missed? Understandable. Okay, Ganesh, thank you. You can do it via Medium. Please do it where people are. Yeah. Then, yeah, thank you so much, Bells Blessed. Amazing experience on the platform, really pristine, solid tips. Thank you. Then Aurora Chen, you're saying, what's up with the many downvotes on the people ranking on top? Looked at the documentation, it seems fine. I think to some extent people are down voting for no reason or envy. I think we had one person who had been warned about some AI generated slop, because if you come up with AI generated slop and then we highlight it, people would do what? And Ganesh was already gotten to top spot after you've done your submission. Okay. Like you'd get downvoted when we highlight whatever you're doing, and the community sees, this person is truly not doing whatever they're supposed to be doing. I think that should be quite some of the challenges that are there. But again, as you say, this leaderboard is community driven. Do your best. Like, let's say, just remember, it's really not even about the whole thing around the leaderboard itself. So just make sure, for example, let's say if I say Ganesh, okay, I've seen a good number. I think the reason why I know Felix got a downvote simply because he was highlighted in terms of AI generated stuff. And for example, you cannot tell us that you have 7 articles in 1 hour for 7 days worth of challenges. There's something wrong there, right? That there's no learning that is taking place there if we are to be true to ourselves. So those are some of the things that are there. But if I see, and the beauty is if I see this person is doing an amazing job like Ganesh and is here, I can still upvote him. And you can see the downvote that was -2, it reduces to, although I cannot do it, I think I cannot do it more than one. So I can only add one upvote. And then someone else can say, yeah, Ganesh is doing an amazing job. Let me also do that. If someone else is doing another job, another good job like Nehemiah, I can just do an upvote here. I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, so that's the whole thing around this. And just note that we go deep. We don't just say, hey, you're this number on the leaderboard. For example, I definitely want to look at this. For example, Anthony, and I can say, okay, got one downvote. Why? Because maybe a couple of things. Article, thereabouts, what is in the workspace, what is in task 2. Those are the different things that are there. And it's only all community driven. Nelson, over to you. I don't want us to really go over and over time. I know we can go on and on this, and then you can take over then this other part of the program.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. I'll be very brief. I think my presentation will be much on
Can you guys hear him?
He has not started speaking. He's just joining. He's reconnecting audio. Okay, as we await Nelson, I can highlight a couple of comments in the YouTube as he comes back. And I was just even putting something here that was saying that there's a big paradox. There's a big paradox when it comes to, let me just add my spotlight. There's a big paradox when it comes to documentation and most of the work happens when you're documenting rather than when you're doing the work on the IDE or console. So that is what I was putting out there. And someone else, like I think you said, Carlo, you're also saying proper documentation is challenging, but you're committed to improving steadily. Definitely, continual improvement. Even myself, as much as you're seeing my articles, I always feel there's something that I need to improve on. There's something that I need to change here and there. You never get to feel that you've done the perfect article. So that's something. Oh, and George, I can say, I think even Nelson will be coming up. You can use GitLab. You can use any version control as long as even you can even use Bitbucket. You can use whichever. It doesn't mean that you're tied to GitHub. Mm, mm. I think the downvote issue has been answered. Yes, so communication is very effective. And please be conversational with your articles. There's a way you can just fill AI-generated content and you lose all credibility. And again, please go read the Medium rules. There's a Medium community rules, and they do not allow AI-generated content. And if you are flagged by Medium users that you are doing that, your account will be banned. So you don't want that. AI is acceptable only for formatting, a couple of things here and there, but generating a full-on article and putting it on there and you're using AI, that's something that they're not going to be allowing. Yep. So I can Nelson is almost about to come up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're back. Over to you.
Okay. All right. Maybe you can allow me to do presentation.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, you can be able to see my screen.
Yes, your screen is visible. Please, you can confirm in the YouTube chat that you can see Nelson's screen.
Okay. I'm going to do just a highlighting on maybe in terms of securing your environment. First, we'll start with on the variables. So this is where you just declare your variables. So I've just done some short comments here so that you can be able to understand. So no different values for secrets that are stored in the variables. And if there are variables that are sensitive, you put sensitive is equals to true. Like for this database variable, it's a sensitive variable. You put the sensitivity is equals to true. You can be able to see the difference from here. Sensitive means that Terraform will never print this value. So the same case here. The other thing maybe I can touch on in terms of securing your infrastructure. I'll go back here on the main, here on the providers. So here, what you're saying is providers configurations credentials come from the environment variables. So they are never hard coded. So if you check here from these providers, so you should never do this. If the access key is equals to this, and then the secret is equals to this, you should never do your coding in this way. So never do write your code in that manner, so that this means if this person has this access key and they have the secret key, they have access to your AWS environment. So you shouldn't put such barriers there. And then the other thing is in here, in production, we use S3 bucket for backend management, bucket management. So what we usually do is this for production. You usually create an S3 bucket, and then you give it a region, then encryption should be true, and then we do DynamoDB lock that prevents concurrent applies. So this,
Nelson,
yes,
let me correct a little bit.
yes,
You see that backend should never be in source code backend. Like you should pass it as config in your pipeline. So yeah, that the backend.s3, because you are actually giving people the URL to your backend and your key. So I think you're supposed to put it in your pipeline, and then you pass it as variables, like secret variables. So the backend You should just have backend S3 and then the braces, and then you just leave it like that. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's supposed to
Yeah.
be like that.
All right. I think I have also done some comments on the same here. And then this is what I was saying about in terms of providers. And then we have, I go here to the outputs. So on the outputs, even if in outputs you mark a secret as sensitive, then Terraform will print sensitive instead of the actual value. So that's why you said some output are sensitive. When printing the outputs will not be prevented. And then here we will showcase the sensitive secrets in the terminal outputs. And then something else is on the terraform.tfs. These are the files. These are save files. You can commit it. It contains non-sensitive configuration values. So it doesn't have any password or keys, just a region, environment, and the type of the instance. Then we have the secrets. So these files is never committed. So you should never commit this file. So it has your database password and also the API key. So in real world, what we do is either we call these variables and we store them in Vault, or in AWS, we have service manager where we store our secrets, and then now we export them. You
Okay,
export them.
let me give a tip there. Uh, Terraform has something called random passwords, so you don't have to actually create the password itself. You just have to generate a password, and then you have to ignore those passwords in secret manager. So when the next so there's something called random password with Terraform. You can generate it during build time, and then always make sure your state file in your S3 bucket they're encrypted at rest, so nobody ever they can never see it. So don't ever guess password. You can actually, I don't know, you guys can go and research that about random passwords. So it generates passwords at build time. So you will never know password you are using until you access it inside the secret manager. Yeah, and then some AWS for databases, it normally has configuration where they can generate the password for you, and then you can access that ARN, and then you can actually pull that into the secret manager. So that's a very good way for managing secrets. And then that git ignore GitHub provides one for Terraform. So you go to GitHub and then you check. Yeah, I think that's very important. You should share it with them because maybe most of them don't know how to write it. So this is the most important thing. When you commit those .terraform / it's over 5 MB. Actually, your GitHub will break. Your entire like a version control, it will break because it will be like over 5 MB. So I think Nelson, you should share with them maybe if they don't know what it is.
Yeah, thank you, James, for that. And I think that is something that also came out during our AWS presentation last weekend, Kevin, where I think he's called one day. I didn't get his name right,
Yeah.
but I also
Yeah.
saw him mention him today. We've been asking questions. So yeah, what James is saying is when you have some of the Terraform files committed when you are pushing your repository, you'll have your Git repositories are passing some data. So these are some of the files that you should ignore. The TF state backup, and then you have Terraform TF state log info. Then you should ignore the Terraform working directory. The optional ones are the log HCL. Some teams opt commit it or not commit. Then you have the secret variables, the secret.tfvars, secret.tfvars JSON, secret.tfvars, and then you can ignore the secrets. It will catch all your any secret named file. So if you just ignore the file name secret, then we have the environment. and then the environment.example. Environment.example is applied where you are working with a team. Let's say you are working with different teams and you want to show what they need to maybe provide when they deploy their infra. So this is just an example of what you provide with them instead of providing them with your actual environment, env file. So the other thing maybe I can maybe talk about is the output. I think I talked about this output, and also James had talked about the ARN. So this one will show the sensitive data in the terminal output. So you should avoid those. And then if it is not sensitive, the ARM is safe. So bad example is, for example, this one. I can maybe uncomment this. Don't do this in production. You see from here, it is going to expose your database password. So these are just some of the examples I can be able to catch from what I've been seeing guys doing. Go do your research. I would maybe recommend people to use S3. For me, I've been working with S3 bucket. And then when you advance, you'll work with something that I really like called HashiCorp Cloud Platform. So that is on a platform that I really like working with. And I know when you reach to that point, that is when you start getting deep to Terraform. So yeah, I think Kevin, that is just a small presentation. Because of time, I would not want to dwell much on it. But if anybody has a question, they can reach out. Those are just example. In real world, we do the best practices, and I will continue to support the community, the knowledge that we have, and the best of knowledge that we can get. And anybody who also has anything to add, they are open to their presentation. Yeah. So back to you, Kevin. I don't know if there's questions from the. Oh, there was a question someone had asked. I remember about using GitLab. So yeah, you can use any platform that you want to use. You can
Yo,
use.
close your tab, close your left, close your sidebar.
Uh, sorry, I think I'm done with presentation. Yeah, is it okay now, James?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can work with both GitHub and GitLab. Just depend on where your code want to live, and then security rule don't change at all. The only real difference is that GitLab has built in Terraform state storage, so you don't need an S3 bucket. Or your GitHub, you need an S3, and then for secrets, GitHub calls them from the repository secrets. And then on the GitLab, you call them on the CI/CD variables. Same idea, but the different name. So both inject them as the TF but the environment variables use your pipeline.
I'll also add on this. When your projects they start getting heavy and maybe you don't have a good machine. I think this happened to me when I was starting
Kevin,
with
you're on mute.
Terraform. You you can use am I audible?
Yeah, I was on mute
Uh,
because James was talking.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
saying like if your laptop is not, maybe I don't know, maybe you don't have a good laptop, because Terraform can consume memory, or maybe sometimes you don't have a strong network. Just use your pipeline. Like me, I never run Terraform in my laptop. I normally run it inside GitHub Actions, which is actually the best practices, because you can actually, it's very secured, and you can't, like, you don't have, you can just click one button and everything goes to production. So if you don't have a good laptop, or maybe you have internet problem, yeah, especially there's a time it's going to reach where you're going to be deploying like even like 500 resources. So it's going to be a problem in actually downloading. Every time you are doing Terraform in it, you are downloading those modules and then you are applying them. It will take a lot of time. So use GitHub Actions if you can. If you can use GitHub Actions, so that it's actually free. You can actually save time. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, James. And yes, please, as we also go through this challenge, let's always be on the lookout on what James is talking about, the best practices, because the industry, if you're working with an enterprise, what should you expect in this? Unless there's any question, I'd like to give a bit of announcements. First of all, the first announcement is that after James, when are you going to be releasing the next batch of challenges?
On weekend, it's on weekend. It's always on weekend. On
Always on
Sunday.
the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
so on Sunday, you're going to, every Sunday, you should be expecting another set of challenges. This time round, because you understand how things are, we're going to release, I think, around 5 or so days worth of challenges, not like all the 10 days like we did as a start. We just wanted you to get enough of that. So, yes, Nelson, yes, so that if you release 10, then people have 20 challenges and someone is on day two, they'll nguvu itaisha, like they'll get tired, and all the strength that they had will, they might be wondering, will I be able to even catch up with all these? So that is what I wanted us to remember. The other announcement is we are going to be we're going to be having expert sessions, but then we're not going to start this weekend because there's a lot we haven't like done. But starting next Saturday, we're going to be having experts who are going to be coming through to take you through technical sessions. Please come in. It's going to be it's going to be live. It's going to be on Zoom. You're going to be all on Zoom. Then you can ask questions to the experts. It's going to be technical and a mix of technical and even non-technical stuff, from career in DevOps to best practices in building CI/CD pipelines and managing them securely, all those different things. And even at the end of as you're going to start releasing, we're going to be getting much of your feedback. So please, for after every expert sessions, please leave us feedback so that we know what are the things you'd like to have as discussed in the next in the next in the next expert session. Yep. Any closing comments or announcements that I might have missed, James or Nelson?
I think there is a question people have been asking me, and you also told me I'm going to mention about it. It's about deducting points and people who are getting bonus. Like, yeah. So let me
Yeah.
answer that question. I'm going to repeat it again, actually, because people don't understand. But right now, if you join the challenge on Monday and you try to compete and you try to complete the first challenge today, you are going to get 35 points. And then you are asking yourself, why am I getting 35 and someone else got like 275 points? It's because if you finish late past the time, you're going to be deducted. If you finish it earlier, you're going to get more bonus. Like, let me break it very well with 100 points and 100 hours. So let's say there's a challenge for, but this is for 24 hours, okay? There's a challenge for 100 hours, and you're getting 100 points, okay? If you finish if you finish 25% earlier of 100, which is you finish within 25 hours, okay, you're going to get 75% more. Okay, so that means with the challenge is 100 hours and then you finish it before 24 hours, so you're going to get a bonus of 75 points extra. If you do it within 50%, you're going to get 50% of the total points extra. So you're going to have 150. The first one you'll have 175, the second one you'll have 150. If you do it 75% earlier, you're going to get 25% extra. So you're going to have 125 extra. The same way, if you finish late, 25 hours plus, let's say you finish with 125 hours later, you're going to be deducted 25. Same, you finish 50% of the total time late, you're going to be deducted 50 points. So instead of 100 points, you're going to get 50. If you finish 75% late, you're going to be deducted 75%. So you're going to end up with the minimum of 25 points. So for such scenario, the maximum you can get is 175 points. The worst you can get is 25 points. So these challenges are for one day. So if you finish the task one today, you have until tomorrow until a time like this and an extra hour. Okay, so you have like, if you finish today, like let's say a time like right now it's 9:41, you have until tomorrow midnight, so that you don't get any kind of deduction because we have added another 25%. Yeah, every day, the moment you finish the, let's say day one, day two starts counting. You have 24 hours to finish day two, 24 hours and some extra hours, like maybe 3 hours. Okay, when you finish day two, you have 24 hours and some extra. So the more, if you delay with 1 day or 2 days, you're going to get like less than a quarter of the total points. So yeah, that's it for those who are confused. So you will have to always be on time and do it and do it. That's why you are seeing there are some people who are very, or maybe you see someone who has done 3 challenge and they are in front of you, and maybe you have done 5, and the guy with 3 challenge, they're still in front of you because they have a lot of bonus points. Yeah, it was just for motivating people to be on their toe. And there's someone who is asking why we don't have a draft during exam. You can't pause during an exam and say that you're going to do it next week. You have to finish it or get a 0. That's why we don't have a draft. But in case your laptop turns off, there's a draft in your local storage that is going to cache it. So every time you're typing, you're going to see it saving. So if maybe your laptop went off and then you try to restart it again, you're going to be back where you are. But don't switch tabs. Don't switch tabs. It's going to clear, because let's say if you're in task one and then you go to task two and you're still on the same tabs, to prevent this, it has to clear it so that it can render the new output. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if anyone who has platform related question, any platform related question, just ask on the chat below. Ask so that I can answer, and then you don't have to ask again. Then, is there any question like about it?
Can't see any question, but I can see Shira is is laughing.
Huh?
But I know this leaderboard thing is has raises a bit of emotions, especially in a couple of people, especially when maybe when they get downvotes or when they are uh, doing a couple of different things. But I can tell you is that it's a very nice gamification way of the challenge. And please, by all means, support others, vote others, don't vote those who are, and it doesn't mean that when you don't vote, it has. There's someone, I believe James, there's someone over the week who asked, can someone who is down voting be required to give a reason to avoid just people who are clicking on that? I don't know whether that can be done or something. I don't know.
It's just like YouTube.
Yeah.
If you dislike someone, do you
Dislike
have to
a
give a
video, you
video?
cannot give a reason unless you decide to do other comment. Yeah.
Yes, you don't have to like, and plus somebody who's downvote will never actually give you a reason.
Exactly.
Being downvoted once, it's not a problem, but being downvoted by 5 people plus, there's a problem there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's just the same way how likes and dislikes works. It's a matter of the ratio between likes and dislikes. So I've ever seen someone who has disliked a video you just seen one dislike and you wonder what were they thinking about, because over 900 people liked, or even 1,000 people clicked the thumbs up. And then there's one or two people click dislike. Yeah. So one or two doesn't hurt. It's a good thing. It means that you have haters. You have to have haters on your way up, right? Yeah. So I think with that, we really gone over time. Please let us wrap it up at this, and let's meet in the group. Let's continue engaging on Luma, on WhatsApp, on the EveOps platform where the challenge is taking place, and again also on the different socials, especially LinkedIn, where you're making your different posts. Continue to tag us. Now that you've also attended this session, post about this session. Don't just post about the challenges. Post about the learnings that you've gotten out of this session, and you're going to be quite far, because never take any time that you've spent and you keep it to yourself, especially on your professional development. Let the whole world know. And I think with that, I will wrap it up with you guys and saying you guys are heroes getting here, like you getting to this point. This is usually the make or break. At this point, after you finish this and you start on the other week, you now realize those who are here for the challenge. And most of you who are listening here to us, who have kept going all the way from like 1 hour 40 minutes ago. We thought we were just going to do 1 hour. We realized that we really needed to clarify a couple of things, but you guys have done. So because you're heroes tonight, let's wrap it up with this one.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town,